Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Tran and I are here. We're here to talk about General Ehlinger, Sam Ehlinger, as he now officially declares for the NFL draft. Came out with the video via social media. Wonderful video. Just recapping his relationship with Texas, his relationship with our fan base, his family, and him obviously his tenure here as the quarterback at the University of Texas. And Trey and I are very thankful for Sam Ellinger's efforts and contributions here at Texas. Before we get into that and kind of recapping and discussing all of that, make sure you hit that like button. We appreciate everybody that joined the live chat yesterday, emergency live chat on Steve Sarkisian. We'll have a lot of Sark content coming, and a lot of, as staff hires get announced and we start looking at the roster and turnover and now, added excitement to recruiting. So all that to come. But in regards to Sam Ehlinger, as we close this chapter, and the chapter officially closes here at Texas, Tran, I'm gonna just pass it over to you, man. How are you feeling about Sam and just your takeaways from his announcement that we knew was coming, but now is officially here?
Yeah, we didn't want to take away his thunder of him actually announcing, because I know it's a special moment that you're moving on with your career and trying to pursue a professional career. One thing, I mean, I'm thankful. One of the things, as they said in the video, was I wanted to leave Texas in a better spot than what I was. And we can say without a shadow of doubt that he did. I feel he's one of my favorite offensive Longhorn players of all time. I flew out to USC his first game with our friend Brandon, Bo, his wife Whitney. We sat and we were expecting Shane Buechele to be starting, and when I think I got a text from you that said, "Hey, Ehlinger's starting," I have never left a venue a loss the way we lost before and feeling so excited about the future. I knew we were going to deal with bumps and bruises with him because he didn't have the talent around him. But man, he just to hear his story of him and his father, him and his family being a Texas Longhorn family, him being an Austin kid and playing for that, it's honestly like something out of a movie, to tell you the truth. Because there's only one starting position at the University of Texas, and he won it. It's a little emotional too for me too as well, because the first time I saw my son actually love football was the Kansas State game when he laid out that poor safety. May he rest in peace. And my son, I mean, my son, how active
Animated
he
he
is.
can get,
Yes.
very.
Oh, he's like Hulk, Daddy. He's way stronger than you. I don't know if he's way stronger than you, but let's
Pump the brake.
Yeah, pump the brakes a little bit,
Jordan.
But no, I mean, it's just to see him see the sport that I love so much, and him start watching it just because of one guy. I mean, that's what Sam Ehlinger means to me. I'm thankful that he came to Texas. I'm thankful that he played as many games as he could, hurt. You can tell the games he was hurt. I'm thankful for the OU memories that he has, even though he only went 1-4 against him. He made every single game very interesting. I'm thankful for the Sugar Bowl. It's we were left as a laughing stock program before he came here. And I know there's other pieces around him that helped him, ramp up to the quarterback that he was. But if you look at our history, you can maybe name 5 really good Texas quarterbacks, and he's now on that list. So that's what honestly what this means to me. I'm extremely happy for him, and I wish him nothing but success in the NFL. And I'm going to be watching him on Sundays. Hopefully he can crack a starting lineup someday. So.
Well said, man. And I'm thankful that I got to share a lot of those memories of Sam with you. And this is also a celebration, right? I mean, I
Hmm.
know I said we're closing a chapter, but I also want this to be something where we reflect. And yes, and Sam mentioned this in the video. Did he ever have the team success that he was searching for here at Texas? They accomplished some goals and they fell short of others. And you can tell the competitor that he is because he said, I did not win a championship. But you know, sometimes our failures can propel us and we can learn so much from those things, right? And so for him to take that still as an individual failure is powerful because it shows his love for Texas. And that's why somebody that loves this program so much, and I've talked so much on this channel, Tran, about different motivations that guys on a football team have and the levels of that we've played at, guys that are in it, because they've been good at football their whole life. It's a means to an end. It can provide for them, and they're going to take it as far as they can. Guys that love football and want to just get to the NFL, and they're passionate about it. But very, very rarely do you come across somebody that is passionate about the program and the school and just grew up with this undying love and loyalty for the program in the city, but also has the talent level and ability. I
Hmm.
mean, I know we always hit on Sam's talent level, but he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. He was an Elite 11 quarterback. He was somebody that had real tools to build around. And you can't go for 13,000 plus career yards and over 100 touchdowns without any talent, right? And so people always like to compare him to guys like a Tim Tebow in terms of his build and whatnot. Tim Tebow is one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. I've always looked at that as a compliment.
Hmm.
And people, whether you want to look at it as, oh, his shortcomings as a thrower and all this type of stuff, no, sir. Ultimate competitor, and he does have a winning spirit. Like you said perfectly, somebody that left us in a better place than where we were and the quarterback issues we've had. Without a doubt, the best quarterback we've had since Colt McCoy left against Alabama. And my own personal memories of Sam, for me, moving here to Texas after I came from DC, I started really kind of getting into the high school football circuit. I had the opportunity to see people like Kyler Murray and Myles Garrett play high school ball here. And I remember in Austin when I started learning about Sam Ehlinger and really, really following him. And the first game I saw him play was I think it was against Anderson at House Park. For those that don't know, House Park is one of the stadiums that are actually downtown Austin. You can see overlook the skyline. So I went to House Park with my wife, and I told my wife, I said, "Hey, this guy number 4 on Westlake. It was his junior year. He's a bad boy, and he is going to be attending the University of Texas. I believe, he committed his sophomore year at Westlake, and I just wanted to see him in person. I live in this city. I'm going to be seeing him play at DKR one day, and we got to the game, and they obliterated. Uh, it was either Anderson or LBJ, one of those schools, but they obliterated them, and just his love and passion for the game of football, um, how he was with his teammates, the leadership that was evident there as a junior in high school. I remember watching on, I think it was Fox Sports Southwest, when they ended Allen's streak. Remember, Allen at that time, after Kyler Murray had left, was still undefeated,
Yeah.
and they eliminated them from the playoffs. I know they lost to North Shore, very close game in the state championship game. Clavion Chason got the best of them, but I remember those games. It just like you said, like the anticipation of seeing him play at the University of Texas. Then we learn about, like you said, his story with the father and all that, and it's just and it is like a screenplay to a movie. It really, really is, but it's ours.
Yeah.
Sam is our guy. He will always be our guy. I don't care about the imperfections or whatever. Was he perfect? No. Was he the best Texas quarterback? No. But he was our Texas quarterback. He was our QB1. Look at the way guys on social media are responding to him, guys that have played with Sam Ehlinger. There's been a lot of mixed emotions because Sam Ehlinger's chapter of his story is directly married to Tom Herman. And they open the chapter together, they close the chapter together. You look at guys that talk about Tom Herman, a lot of mixed messages. Some with love, some are dancing on the grave. Is what it is. Sam Ehlinger is all love.
Yep.
Every single person. Competitors as well. Look at people, and one of the videos I regret that we didn't do, and hopefully in 2021 we do more videos that, Trey and I were texting back and forth about ideas. We never got to the perception of Sam video.
It's
But
because they didn't win the Big 12 championship.
I know.
All my work that I did, I was like, and that in no way is a shot at Sam at all. I honestly feel personally that we as a fan base and as administration and coaching staff kind of failed him as well. A part of me. And I feel bad for him in that regard, that he didn't get the continuity of coaching staff and getting the right people put around him to succeed and make him a better player. So, I think a lot of those losses is on us, all of Texas. So,
well,
him taking, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we realize that, but the beauty of Sam is he'll always take accountability for that as well. Mm-hmm. And some of it is on him. He was not a perfect player, and unfortunately, he did have some issues, some areas where he regressed his senior year. But he owns all of it. And you're right? Like, was Tim Beck ever an elite coach? Tim Beck was an elite recruiter and yes, had great relationships with guys. But we saw the issues with Tim Beck from jump. That goes into who's calling plays and who's, really behind in Sam's ear. Tom Herman not giving us what we thought we were going to get as the QB whisperer. We thought we were going to get even from his time at Ohio State. Sam wasn't the beneficiary of that. Then having to learn a new offense under Mike Yurcich his senior year in a COVID season, it's unfortunate. And some may comment right now at this point in the video and say we're making excuses for some of those shortcomings. But it's also, to me, just context on what happened here while he was here. Bill Simmons on his podcast, for those who don't listen to Bill, but Bill Simmons talks about with NBA players what version of their careers played out. Recently he's been talking about Chris Webber. Like, if we played his career 10 times or 20 times, was this the best outcome? Like, what outcome was this? And I think there's a universe and a scenario where Sam Ehlinger's career looks a lot like Colt McCoy's. If there's more stability around to Tran's point, if there's a better environment here, culture that he didn't have to come in and help rebuild. In my culture video, I talked about it. Like, when he got here, we wanted him to be what? A savior.
Yep.
We wanted him to be a savior, Tran.
It's too much pressure to be put on a 17-year-old kid, because he was 17 years old when he came into Texas. But, going back to your point, I really wish I was a part of that Texas verse where he was.
I know, the Texas verse. Like Doctor Strange, we were playing it out, like.
All right, wanted 14,300,000. I'll take that one. Just give me that one.
But Tran, let me be very clear. This version that did play out, it was bumpy.
I'm proud of it.
I won't. I still love him. Still love what we got, and I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it because you know what? You can't tell me that Casey Thompson and Hudson Card didn't benefit from being in the same room every day with that guy. You can't tell me that Joshua Moore and Jake Smith and Cade Brewer and all of the guys, Bijan Robinson, who he's grown such an outstanding relationship with. And now you said this in terms of passing, who's now the face of the program?
Bijan. And he passed the torch to him. That's the ultimate leader. Like, the only other time I really could think of something like that happening, the guy who is the face of the program passing it over, is from a professional level. David Robinson going to Tim Duncan. Just like, hey, you're the best. Here you go. It's yours. And he did it seamless in an interview. It's like, hey, it's Bijan's program.
He did it, and it was purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he could have taken that time to reflect all of his time about his career at Texas, talk about him, talk about whatever. He could have used that time to announce.
Mhm.
Instead, he said, the most excited thing about this Alamo Bowl is I get to watch Bijan Robinson play. Because Sam Ehlinger is a Texas fan like everybody else watching this video, and he wants the best for the program. Sam Ehlinger is going to be the guy that's going to be around just like everybody else, whether it's on social media or at the games or providing commentary, hopefully after his NFL career on LHN or whatever, about Texas and providing his input and thought because he wants what's best.
Mhm.
So how can you not appreciate that as a fan? Whether you wanted to move on from Sam or not, whether you're a Sam hate or whatever, I don't think I think some people were ready to just see more arm talent, things like that. Whether you were in that camp or not, how do you not appreciate that aspect and how he's represented our university? I've never felt embarrassed by him being our quarterback,
Ever.
ever.
Even going back to the first game that we saw, Brandon even goes, "Uh-oh, you guys got a quarterback." That's what Brandon said to me. So, and if you guys don't follow the channel very closely, Brandon's an Aggie. So that's
And he's
how
been on our
big he
round
was.
table a couple times. Yeah, one of our
And
best friends.
he has been the biggest backer of Sam out of our group, aside from myself and Steven. He said hey, without Sam, you're not winning 3 of those games. Without Sam, you're not winning 3. He's very adamant about how good Sam is. So
Absolutely. And statistically, right? Like he's all over the Texas record book. He'll be remembered better as time goes on
yeah.
for the workload that he had, playing through injury. We talk about, hey, is every single week. I'm always gonna be on the right side of saying, you know what, I appreciate anybody that wants to continue to suit up and do what's best for the school because they want to compete
Mhm.
versus the guys that are quick to shut it down. Because there's all sides of that out there. Now, and I've always said, especially at the collegiate level, it's on the coaches to decide whether somebody's too hurt to where they're hurting the team, and also make that distinction. You should be in touch with your players, whether you thought that was an issue with Sam or not. But for Sam's sake, his job is to try to get himself prepared, suit up, work on his body. He's done all of those things. He's up for numerous awards as a student athlete, becomes business school, which is very, very, very difficult to get into. And
Mhm.
for him to, have that discipline in his life, I think is a great example for a lot of young men. That's why he's such a great mentor to a lot of guys. And I'm thankful again for his contributions. At the NFL level, and I will continue to defend this. I know a lot of people, I've eaten a lot of crow about RJ Young's halfback comments when we had that video there with him. I stand behind the fact that he will be drafted in the NFL draft come 2021. I'm hopeful that he is healthy enough to compete at the Senior Bowl. It's unfortunate that he suffered, the shoulder issue in the Alamo Bowl, playing in that bowl game that's now may possibly impact him moving forward. Hopefully he gets, heals up, train, and is able to compete at the Senior Bowl, is able to compete at the combine, because he's the type of dude that's like, hey, if we're
Yeah, the sad
throwing,
thing, he's going to play. The sad thing is he's going to play, hurt or not, and that's just one of his greatest characteristics is the heart that he shows. So hopefully I hope he gets take a step back, and his people could pull him back and say, hey, you got to be 100%
Mhm,
because this is your job interview.
mhm. And we'll have some more commentary and videos on here when the draft comes around. It is a deep draft. Kyle Trask came out. Kellen Mond just wrapped his career. Speaking of Brandon, there's a lot of guys that they'll be competing after the big dogs go, the big arm talent
Mm-hmm.
guys we're talking about. But within that intermediate place where people like Jacob Eason went last year, 4th round to the Indianapolis Colts, like there's that window between round 4 and round 6 where a lot of teams will try to sneak in. And Tran and I, we talk about this all the time when you watch NFL and you see some of these quarterbacks that are playing right now. There's opportunity for him to not only make a team but help a quarterback room and help a NFL team. I think with his level of competitiveness, with his intelligence and willingness to be coached, in some cases he may be coached like he's never been coached before, and really get with a quarterback coach that can maybe refine some of his footwork, help him with his decision makings and speeding those up, help him with, getting the best out of his arm. Because I think Sam's arm strength wasn't probably maximized due to some of the technique things that some of these teams figure out how to clean up at the NFL level. I'm excited to see that for him. I'm, like you said perfectly, I want to root for him at the NFL level, regardless of what team he goes to. So thankful for 11, man. Thankful for 11. Great player here. Tran, any other final thoughts as we wrap on our farewell and thank you to General Ehlinger?
No, I'm just very appreciative of what he left out on the field and the product that he brought to the field as well.
Amen, brother. Well, guys, we'll be back. A lot of staff moves and stuff like we said here at the University of Texas. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot coming up pretty soon.
A lot.
Apparently, we can't relax one day without a news pop of Texas.
Dominating the airwaves. Hopefully, something that we're finally going to get the ship on the right course. That's all. And Tran, we are here to support Coach Sarkisian. Whatever this, hopefully he puts together a great staff. Because I think when we did the live, he wasn't introduced yet. He hadn't done the.
He was introduced 10 minutes right after. If we would have stayed 10 minutes on longer, he would have been introduced.
So we said it on our live. Once he is officially the head coach, we now shift to how do we support the coach in grading him and assessing this objectively, right? It's no longer who's right about who they wanted or who's wrong about that. Is what's best for Texas.
Yeah, all we care about is the product and the wins on the field. That's all we care.
Absolutely. All right, guys, hit us in the comments. Any favorite memories you have of Sam Ehlinger? Anything that you're hopeful to see from him in the NFL or well wishes or whatever you would like to comment on. I don't restrict anyone's thoughts or views, but again, Tran and I are just very, very thankful for what we were able to see the last 4 years and here in Austin, Texas. And best of luck to one Sam Ehlinger. Thank you.
QB1, baby.
Guys, horns always up. Thank you.